Well, hey friends, welcome to my channel. It's good to have you guys here. I'm in my office this afternoon. It's 4:10 p.m. This video is part two of a series called a Week in the Life of a Pastor. I'm a pastor at my local church. I've been pastoring for about 4 years now, and I wanted to make a series of videos logging or vlogging the day-to-day activities of the ministry. And just so you can be encouraged if you're a young man or young woman who's desiring to go into full-time ministry, hopefully these videos in this series can give you kind of a layout of what to expect. Now, every job's going to be different, every church is going to be different, and honestly, every day being a pastor is different. There's not a typical 9 to 5 job. It's not a cookie cutter schedule. Every day is different as far as the hours worked, the tasks, the people you see. And so hopefully this video can give you a window into what a day in the life looks like for me. So again, I'm here in my office. If you want to see a tour of this office, you can check out my channel. I've got a video there for you to watch for that if you're interested in something like that. But yeah, it's 4:10 p.m. I got into the office around 7 a.m. this morning, had a cup of coffee, began my day. Now today's a bit different. It's my first day back from vacation, so kind of getting back into the swing of things in the office and the ministry. I'm specifically over student ministry and our young adult ministry. Those are the ministries that I am pastoring and administering to. And so this morning, to kind of give you a layout of the morning, I had a employee interview that I had to conduct. Not an interview, I'm sorry, an employee review that I had to conduct. From 7 a.m. till about 8:30 a.m., I worked on preparing my notes and preparing the documents for that review. It's a review just to help one of our employees to strengthen their giftings and to exercise in their ability to become a better admin coordinator, stuff like that. Super helpful. They really appreciated the the review. So I did that till about 8:30 a.m. Around 8:30 a.m. I kind of shifted. I took some time to respond to some emails. I had a lot of emails to get back to, being gone for a week and a half on vacation, so had to get those emails responded to. Some of those emails include logistical things, planning, strategizing. Some of it could be reaching out to new members of our church to get them connected. Others, it could be responding to answering prayer, answering emails, requesting prayer, stuff like that. There is definitely a heavy dosage of emails as a pastor throughout the week, and so I took care of that. And then I had the review, the job review, and it went really well. After that, I began to work on some notes for our student ministry service that's happening tomorrow night. It's Tuesday today. Our student ministry services are on Wednesdays. And so I began prepping notes for that teaching. Now, typically I'll take about 4 to 5 days in advance of the session to prepare notes. But with me getting off from vacation and with tomorrow night being more of an exhortation rather than an actual teaching, it doesn't require as much time and effort. But I did that. I had a few errands to run in the afternoon. Part of the blessing of being in ministry and being a pastor is there is flexibility in your hours. So, I got in at 7 a.m. today. I won't be getting home tonight till about 9:30 or 10 p.m. So that's a very, very long day. And so I had some flexibility this afternoon to take a few hours to go run some errands. I got back around 2:30 or 3, and I finished completing the notes for the student ministry service tomorrow night. Added some slides in there as well. And now what I'm about to do at 4:15 p.m. is I'm about to prep, do my final prep on a message I'm teaching tonight for our young adults. Every Tuesday night is a young adult service. So we have about 40 to 50 young adults coming in every Tuesday from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And tonight I'm going to be teaching on a passage in the Song of Solomon. Going to be a fantastic night. So we have teaching, some discussion in the midst of that teaching, and then typically we have breakout groups. But this is the last Tuesday of the month, and typically what I do with our young adult community on the last Tuesdays of the month is once service is over, we invite anyone who wants to go out to eat at a local restaurant. And so we'll hang out there till, again, like 10:30 p.m. just for more fellowship. It's a really, really fun time. So I'm getting ready to prep those notes, and I'll show you what that looks like for me. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, so here we are at my desk, and I've got my good old Schuyler Quintel. Love these Bibles. You can check out a review on the Quintel by Schuyler in my my YouTube channel. Tons of Bible reviews you can check out there as well. But this is kind of how I prep for a teaching. Now, every teaching that I do for young adults and adults, I don't do this for students, but for young adults and adults, I prepare a portion of notes. Now, these notes might be 3 pages long. They might be 8 pages long. They're double spaced, and they're in outline format. And the reason I prepare these notes and give these notes to the hearers, the young adults or the adults who are in the session, is so that they can follow along in the teaching. They can make little notes here in the margins, and they can take the notes home and do further study in their own time. I find that to be very beneficial to the congregation. Now, again, I don't necessarily, if this is 8 pages long, I'm not going to cover every single point in these 8 pages in about a 35-minute time period. It's just not possible. But I will cover the majority of it. And for those for the things that I did not cover, again, I encourage the people to take the notes home and to study them on their own for deeper understanding. It can be very beneficial to have notes from a teaching that you can take home with you and put in a binder, a envelope, however you want to store them, however you want to use them in the months and years to come. They are available. I do that for every one of my teachings, minus my student ministry teachings. And with that being said, the night of the teaching, I generally look over these notes 1 to 2 more times. I'll read through the points, the verses that we're covering. And what I'll begin to do is I'll begin to highlight in various colors. So I use purple for context or for definitions. I use pink for highlighting scripture. So anything that is scripture, I also have scripture emboldened and italicized, but I'll highlight the pink for those scriptures. I use blue for any illustrations or quotes that I'm going to mention in the sermon. Orange is something I will use to highlight a sentence or two where I don't want to read it word for word, but I want to paraphrase it. And so there's many paragraphs in these notes that I'm not going to read word for word, but I do paraphrase the point, and I will use an orange highlighter for that. So when I'm looking down at my notes, when I come to an orange highlighted section, I can look at the first sentence of that section and know what needs to be said and paraphrase it. Very helpful. Now my yellow is used when I want to read or speak something word for word. So paragraph A here, in the spiritual interpretation of the Song of Solomon, the bride refers to the church globally and on a more personal level, an individual believer. Now, if I wanted to read that word for word, I would highlight that in this yellow highlighting marker. So I find that this color system works very well for me. I can do another video more specifically related to this coloring method, but this is what I'm doing now for the next 45 minutes is I am reading the scripture I'm going to be covering. I'm reading over the notes. I'm highlighting. I'm making notes, discussion points, and then that will bring me to about 5:30 p.m. in which I'll start getting ready for our young adult service. So that's kind of my day from 7 a.m. until about 8:30 p.m. when service is over. Again, we'll go out to a local restaurant to get some food, enjoy some greater fellowship. I love Tuesdays. They're one of my favorite days. They're one of my longest days, though, of the week in ministry. I typically put in about 12 to 15 hours, but they are my Mondays. And so it's the start of the week for me. I really enjoy them. I enjoy what I get to do. Guys, I hope this video was helpful in giving you a day-to-day scenario of what a job as a pastor is like. I do plan on recording another video on Wednesday, which is a completely different day. I have more meetings, I have more responsibilities and different kinds of work that needs to be done compared to Tuesday. So I'm going to make a video on a Wednesday, I'm going to make a video on a Thursday, and on a Friday. And I'll likely do one on a Sunday morning as well, just to kind of show you what I do on Sunday mornings. So I hope this was beneficial to you. I hope it was edifying. Guys, I hope to see you in the next one. God bless.